BRD. And in addition to that, I would also ask if the council, we tabled the two appointments from the previous council meeting, the SIOC appointment, the USAC publicity chair. If we could amend the agenda to move those to in front of the normal appointments, because I just think in the interest of folks who are waiting here, that we don't leave these two appointments all the way until almost the end of the council meeting. I just think that that would be appropriate. So can I entertain a motion to amend the agenda for the approval of the interim BRD? I suppose she is not.
Because we told her it was at the end.
Okay, well then.
Old business, but.
Oh, well, she's not here, then maybe we want to leave until the end. Okay, no, thank you for clarifying that. I just thought it would be easier for me to do that, but that's fine. Then can I entertain an amendment to the agenda to add the approval of the interim BRD, interim budget review director? Okay, well, you have to give the motion for it.
I move to
add to the agenda.
add to the agenda the
Approval, the consent approval of the interim budget review director.
consent approval of the agenda.
Is there a second? Okay, so that's the only item I wanted to add to the agenda. Are there any other?
I moved to strike the mayor's consent.
Okay. See? And the additional?
Move to strike ASRF.
Additional. Okay. Well, actually, I don't know if, I think council member has to. Strike. Okay, there we go. Additional amendments to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of the agenda as amended, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All those opposed and all those abstaining, please 0 vote. The agenda has been approved as amended. Now we will move into the approval of the minutes from our previous council meeting. Unless there are any objections to the minutes, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the July 12th council meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the July 12th council meeting.
Can I have a second? Second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All those opposed? Now abstaining, they 0 vote. We approve the minutes of the previous council meeting. Now we will move into our public comment. Our first round of public comment will be audio only, and each public comment can last for a maximum of 2 minutes. So first round of public comment, and left to comment. Okay, our second round of public comment. This is going to be audio and visual. So that's just that. Public comment. Okay, seeing none, we will close the public comment. And now, before the no such hesitation, before we move into our appointments, I'm going to give a chance to Deidre and Daisy of the students to sit here with the council.
Thank you very much for the time. Just a minute. I came to your installation. Congratulations. My name is Maria Blandini, and I'm the Dean for Students. And I'm here because you previously had a student affairs representative that augmented the support that you received at Zimmerman. You know Deb Geller. She will continue with you as an advisor to the council. Deb is away at a Golden Key Honor Society retreat of some sort, so she's not with us. But you also had a second advisor, Christine Mata. Maybe some of you are familiar if you've been thinking before. Christine has left for a position at Humboldt, and so in Christine's place we have Rob Cadota. And so Rob is going to serve as the advisor to USAC for the coming year with Deb. So between Deb and Rob, they will join forces. Rob can tell you a little bit about his own involvements in governance. And he also won't be with you every meeting, so I'll just frame that it is in every other kind of meeting commitment that Rob will make, because he also serves on his local city council. And so he can share a little bit about that. And then I just wanted to take 2 other seconds after I introduce Rob to come back. So Rob. Oh, sure, should we start with that? So the other thing I would just say is that the Dean of Students and several of my colleagues in the office support the planning and the conversations that you will have during your retreat, that Sabrina and IUP office will help plan to facilitate you all. I look forward to participating, however I can be of service and however folks on our team can be of service. And specifically, I'm hoping that we can include Dr. Kevin Dougherty in those conversations in his role as Director of Fraternity and Sorority Relations. Given lots of what happened in the past year at the council table and the conversations, I think it would be helpful. He plays a role as Associate Dean with me in the Office of the Dean of Students Office, so I'll give him a moment to comment, but he has some new staff members, and I'm hoping that you all will have some time to spend with them and also engage the Greek community in new ways for collaborative kind of partnerships. So I'll leave it to Kevin.
Thank you all for allowing me to be here. Again, my name is Kevin Dougherty, Associate Dean and Director of Fraternity and Sorority Relations. As Dean Langby just expressed, we have begun, or we have already hired some new staff members here within our office. And while we have those new staff members, we are also doing some other collaborative efforts in providing more resources to our ever so large Greek community here at the university. Recognizing that quite a few incidents took place last year and the year before within the Greek community, and we have truly recognized the importance of collaborating with Usac. And so we are hoping that with our new staff and with our collaborative efforts, that we'll be able to engage each of you all a little bit more in depth to kind of hear your views, your thoughts, your perspectives, and how we can make our Greek community, but more importantly, how we can make the Brew Life community that much better. So I'm looking forward to engaging with you all. And please note that my email, my doors is always open for you all for any questions or any concerns that you may have, and hoping that we can establish a great working relationship and a great partnership this upcoming week. So thank you for having me.
I think that would Rob would pass to you.
Great. Rob Canota, I've been at UCLA for 20 and I've been involved in local politics for about 15 years. So I was on the first board of Marcus Community Council, which is one of the City of LA's neighborhood councils. We served on that first board for about 10 years, stepped away, and now I'm back and chairing that. I was also appointed by Bill Rosendahl, City Council member, C11, to serve on the LA City Council Redistricting Commission, so help kind of figure out the mapping of the council districts for the city. So a little bit of my background, very involved in safety and security, and the civilian co-chair for Pacific LAPD's Community Police Advisory Board as well.
Thank you, Mr. Canota. And I think just since you're going to be serving with us for so long, I think it'd be great for all the council to go around and say your name and your position on the council, starting with.
My name is Iman Chowdhury. I'm General Representative
Mario Bully, I'm the Financial Support Division.
I'm Ashwin Mentor, the Academic Affairs Commissioner.
And we have the Finance Commissioner.
Hi, I'm Nikki Shelley, Cultural Affairs Commissioner.
I'm Zach, I'm the Community Service Commissioner.
I'm Christina Lee, Student Policy Commissioner.
Jordan Dang, Finance Commissioner.
Hi, I'm Sandra Reed, Facilities Commissioner.
And my name is Danny Siegel, I'm the Usac president. So thank you, we're so happy to have you with us. And really looking forward to
Didn't have a choice.
Well, we're going to give you a warm welcome and thank the follower. It was really seeing how things get done. So thank you. With that being said, we'll move into our appointments for this evening. And I just want to preface this by saying thank you so much to the council for bearing with us. I have a lot of appointments that my directors are busy finding really passionate and qualified students who wanted to come forward and serve the student body. And especially thank you so much to the members of ARC. I know that you kind of dumped a lot of appointments on your shoulders, and we really appreciate you taking the time to go through that process for the council. So thank you so much for that. And with that, we'll begin with our consent approval for the interim budget review director. Johnny, actual budget review director, who we appointed at the end of spring quarter, is going to be not on campus, I think, he has been this summer for the fall quarter. So in his place is going to be our interim budget review director. So. So if you just wanted, this is, our council is not going to do a vote, budget by consent, but if you just wanted to introduce the council, just so, and talk about your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Stephanie, and I am an incoming third year. I'm a financial math major with a minor in computing and statistics. So my relevant experiences include serving as a staff, as an administrative representative for Usac student government accounting. Some of you may have seen me there, so it makes me more knowledgeable of the financial matters relating to Usac. Aside from that, I also serve as the financial coordinator for San Juan Filipino, which is a group that's been established at UCLA since 1972. So we organize a lot of events, and that also made me more knowledgeable about like the different aspects of funding. So combining those two things together, I think makes me a very good fit for the position of interim BRD, and I hope to fulfill the responsibilities that Johnny would not really like me to do, since it won't be able to do. Any questions?
Okay then, thank you so much. Then we'll go ahead and I'm going to ask the council to, this is going to be a consent approval, we're not going to go through a formal vote, but if there are no objections to the appointment of interim BRD, then we'll go ahead and that will be approved by consent. Okay, great. So she's been appointed to interim budget review director by consent, and now we'll move on to our next appointment. Our next set of appointments will be the UCLA Communications Board. We have 3 appointments with a 1-year term to fulfill. Actually, we used to serve on the Communications Board, but I stepped down due to her serving on Usac, and then 2 full-year terms. So 3 in total. So I am not sure how ARC is being coordinated, but if either of the ARC members want to, usually what Sabrina does is kind of gives an overview of the appointments, and I don't know, gives an overview of the appointment, and then kind of we'll jump right into our first appointment and you'll give your ARC recommendations. So did you want to give an overview of ASU's Communications Board first?
Okay.
Do you have the doc that? Sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know with our IBP not here, it's kind of a different process. So thank you all for bearing with us as we kind of navigate the ARC process and the approval of appointment process. Given that it's a little bit different for this council meeting. So if you want to just kind of give an overview of the position, council, whenever.
So the COM board basically oversees student at USAC, and they have many different components of finance operations. So they work with a lot of the so this position is for 2 years after terms, and first one is not that. Not that, and
You can do the ARC recommendation after. It would be more appropriate for each individual. So I think we'll go ahead and then you can show you. But yeah, with that being said, thank you. And now I'd like to invite our appointments to 1-year term on ASUCLA Communications Board.
You're stagnant. I'm gonna call it right now.
Oh, okay. Great. So.
Hi. Okay.
They can see you up on the screen.
All right. Cool. Hi.
They can hear you, if you have difficulty hearing them, let us know, we'll repeat the question.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'll let Danny take it away first.
Sounds
Hi,
good.
so, we just went through and introduced the com board position, and now, I'm going to, let, our members of ARC give their overview of your ARC, interview, and then we'll go ahead with your interview for the council, so, turn it back to you.
Okay, so 3 of us were able to interview, and we did recommend 3 of them. We saw that she demonstrated fair confidence, her ability to represent student and student media, and we would like to see her familiarize herself with all media outlets, as she does have some experience, but we'd like to see more contact with other magazines, as well as Daily Bruin, under Concord, discuss their student media, as well as have some specific goals on what you want to see and do next year.
Okay, great. So now, as for the rules of the council, you will have a 1-minute opening, followed by 5 minutes of questioning from the council, and then 1 minute closing. So whenever you are ready to do your 1-minute opening, you can start talking.
Okay, so hi, my name is Mrinalika Kumar. I'm an incoming junior majoring in economics and international development studies. My qualifications, my experience, and my understanding of the importance of social media, I think, will allow me to thrive in this position while also contributing positively to the mission of communications board. Being in and out of social media for the last 2 years has provided me with a very holistic and holistic understanding of the infrastructure of USAC publications. I was both a staff member, which means that I took orders and I learned from other staff members, but at the same time, I was a co-marketing director, so I was a leader as well. And having this unique position allowed me to really get a holistic, comprehensive insight into what these publications want and need, and it'll be really beneficial towards the communications board. Not to mention that I understood how important these publications are to USAC media, to USAC campus itself. It's so important to have this media thriving and running smoothly. I think that experience, coupled with my experience as a social chair for various clubs on campus. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Sam, thank you for your 1-minute introduction.
Got it.
And
Yes.
now we will move into 5 minutes of questions from the council. So,
Okay, sounds good.
so whenever we're ready, if council members have questions for our appointment, feel free to start. Any questions from the council? You're good. Yeah. You're good.
So with the passage of the new referenda, how do you expect these funds to be not only distributed fairly, but also see them play out across, Daily Bruin and the different magazines?
Okay, yeah. The question was, how would you allocate the funds, correct? Just to make sure.
Yeah, can you just elaborate as
Okay, yeah. Okay, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually do have an idea for this. I think it'd be really beneficial if we could allocate, obviously we allocate funds evenly throughout each publication. Smart if we could allocate these funds towards their fundraising, because a lot of times if we tell them to use their funds for fundraising, then they can start their own fundraising themselves, and it can and then they'll have their own work and push themselves to make the publication get further. So we give them the starting point, and then each publication can use that the way they best think is fit to get the publication their marketing better, to have their resources or their funding. Everything can smoothly as long as we provide that fundraising money, so they can get their ball rolling from there. I think it'd be really useful if we start their marketing and fundraising for them. I give them the funding for that, and they can use it to get their ball rolling further.
Okay, additional questions from the council?
Okay.
Okay, seeing none, you will now have a 1-minute closing whenever you're ready.
Okay. Like I said, I've been in and out of USAC media And while I truly enjoyed my time, I want to be able to impact Usac Media on a grander scale. And I think that being on Usac Communications Board will allow me to work on helping Usac Media thrive and succeed as smoothly as possible. And I believe that I have the skills and the experience to do to the best of my ability. So I look forward to possibly being your undergraduate representative for the Communications Board. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, that concludes your interview. The council will move into our discussion and our vote.
Okay.
You, at your discretion, you can remain in your capacity, whatever, Skyping in, or Google hang out with us, and observe our deliberations, or you can close it and then just let you know after.
I will just hear about after. It's 10 o'clock here, it's late.
Okay, sure then. We will be notified after council goes through our process of our result.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Can I entertain from the council a motion to approve Niran Nalalika Siva Kumar to the UsacLive Communications Board for a 1-year term? And entertain that.
I move to appoint Malcolm Silverman to UsacLive Communications Board.
Second by Ariel. So now we move right into discussion from the council. So do any of the council members have any comments? Okay then.
Knowing her personally, I guess, she's a very vibrant person, very good communication skills across the board. From what I've heard, she did a lot of good things for marketing in the Democratic office last year. Fortunately, she's not in my office, but he did ask. But yeah, I think she'll do a lot of good work on board. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay then. Great. Unless there are any additional.
I'd also like to add that she does have experience in media as well under the scenes and that she had a very good direction that she wanted to take. Being very transparency and.
Okay then. Unless there are additional comments from the council, I will call a vote for approval to the UsacLive Communications Board. All those in favor of approving Niran Siva Kumar to the 1-year term for the UsacLive Communications Board, all those in favor, please raise your hand. 8. All those opposed? All those abstaining? 2800 vote. She's been approved. Okay. And now I will move through and okay, great. Then we'll move on to our next appointment first, UsacLive Communications Board. I'm going to ask Madeline Chen to, I'm not sure if she's or.
I think she'll know I was good.
Oh, you're expecting her? Okay. Then.
Hi, can you hear us?
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Great. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, Madeline. I wanted to let you know that now is going to be an interview for the two-year term on the UsacLive Communications Board. You'll have a 1-minute opening, 5 minutes of questions from the council, and then you'll have a 1-minute closing. So we can start your opening whenever you are ready.
Okay. Okay, so I'll start my opening. Okay. So, as a cornerstone of democracy, freedom of press should not be ruined. Particularly, through media, the 12 publications under the UsacLive Communications Board should be free. This freedom is in the board's constitution. It is what I enjoyed as a reporter for my high school paper, HuffPost
HuffPost and Generation, and it is what I pledge to preserve as a board member. The freedom for the Daily Bruin to cover campus news, for Bruin Life to tell visual stories, and for UCLA Radio to vocalize them, so that NAMO conveys awareness out loud, and Outright can give a voice to the silent. I want to protect Ham's freedom to feature Jewish voices, and Outlive's ability to report on Muslim issues, to ensure that Lahontan, Femme, and Pacific ties represent underrepresented communities. Finally, I will work with all my fellow board members to make sure that all mediums, including Bruin Mobile and Bruin Walk, have more outreach and appeal to a broader audience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So now we will have 5 minutes of questions from the council. So whenever the council is ready for questions, please begin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I guess not. Okay, then let's.
I can repeat the question. Oh, or if you want to post it.
Hello, I just wanted to ask, what prior experience do you have where you will ensure that the communication and information that is spread around campus and what is going on?
Okay. So the question was like, what previous journalism experience do I have, or experience in like, you know?
That will allow you to ensure that the information that is spread around campus is listed and reflects the campus content.
Okay. So my previous experience with journalism then, which would give me like a more holistic view to evaluate the media and like communications in general at UCLA, would be that like I reported and edited for my high school paper. I contributed to HuffPost, and I'm currently contributing to Generation, which is like an online empowerment magazine. So in terms of like journalistic standards, I know about like media ethics, I know about like objectivity and reporting, and basically like the code of conduct that all media publications should adhere to. And then talking about what I've done at UCLA and like how my experience here would make me, would ensure that I have a holistic viewpoint in regards to the media. I've been on the debate team and on the Model UN team, but I haven't been personally involved with media at UCLA. So while I do have media experience and knowledge, I haven't personally been involved with it at UCLA. So that allows me to take a step back and to evaluate the media here fairly and objectively and ensure that they're up to their standards with that knowledge while not being personally involved myself.
Okay. Additional questions from the council? Okay. Seeing none, that will conclude our questions. And now you will have 1 minute closing, starting whenever you're ready.
Okay, sure. I'll just start now. So, like I said at the beginning of this interview, freedom of press is like a cornerstone of democracy that I believe should be upheld. It's what I believed at the beginning, what I believe at the end of this interview, and what I will believe throughout my term on the ASUCLA Communications Board. As a UCLA student with experience in media and with knowledge about communications, I believe that I am well suited to uphold the responsibilities of the Communication Board in order to protect, promote, and preserve student media at UCLA. I'll ensure that all publications have a fair say and have fair policies and fair budgets, and I will ensure that the student body and the student media both feel well represented and well served on campus. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That will conclude your interview. And now, as the council begins their deliberation, you can either stay on via your Google Hangout and observe our deliberations, or you can log off and then Patty will notify you of our decision.
Okay. I think I'll log off and like leave you guys to deliberate in peace. But thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Can I entertain a motion from the council? Oh, before we do that, I am so sorry. The ARC recommendation. I usually do that before they speak, but I guess I just sent them this time. So.
Okay, so we were unable to meet our quorum because interviewing instead of and so we're unable to recommend, but we did vote 1-0-1. So that's one recommendation, one on, I think, and then we basically noted that she needs to show more familiarity of the patients on board because she doesn't have experience with the information in CLA in order to more effectively represent them. And then it was something that she was passionate about advocacy, which is positive, but she also needs a clear vision for the next 2 years as far as goals. And she does understand how Concord works, but again, she needs to be clear as herself.
Okay, sure, and just for future reference, I apologize to the council, I should have that go before our candidate speaks, so you can have that insight when you are, if you want to ask those sorts of questions, so that was just a mistake on my part, I apologize, for all our future appointments going forward. But now, can I entertain a motion in the council to approve Madam Chen for 2-year term on the ASC Certification Board?
I move to approve Madam Chen for 2-year.
Okay, second. Ashley, and now we'll have a discussion. Do members of the council have any comments for regarding the appointment of Madeline?
I mean, she seems very passionate about the position, very excited, and coming from someone who did not have any student media experience that was also put on Concord last year, it's very possible for her to learn into student media, and I think that, showing from her dedication, just vocalization of how much she's excited to be on Concord, I think shows a lot of true testament to her character. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do on the communication board.
Additional comments from the council? Okay.
That was advocate, I guess. Like Christina was saying before, I think, we have a lot of passionate people that are it, but it's that experience that is critical. Within at least some sectors, I guess, of media, people that like actually that. She's been involved in, similar things on campus, but I believe she might struggle with this position. Just not knowing that it's not so separate media outlets, it might be difficult for her. It's something to take into consideration. She explained like her journalism experience in high school, but I think on a broader scale, college is a much bigger place, and it kind of works a little differently. So although she is very passionate, she knows, I guess, Concord from reading about it, but that's, I guess, just taking into consideration the different experiences that might be that's just my
Okay.
What is the point? One of this year she wrote years passionate, she's all that. And she would do the job.
Okay. Additional comments from the council? Okay, so seeing that, I will ask that we do a vote on the appointment of Madeline to the Communication Board. All those in favor of approving Madeline Chen to the 2-year term for the ASC Communication Board, please raise your hand. 6, 7. All opposed? 1. None abstaining. 2, 7, 1, 0 vote. Madeline is approved. Okay. And now we move on to our third appointment for ASC Communications Board, Eliza Corby. Do you want to get in front of the room?
Sure.
And and before you speak, we can have our report from the ARC.
So, one person was able to interview, so you're but from the notes, we did see that she had an understanding of the importance of student media due to her previous work for reporting on the other end. And she does have a unique perspective of how student media teaches to some of the experience. And she also prospect parallels to creating a approach for the referendum. But we would also like to see some alternatives.
Okay, so that was our recommendation from the ARC. And now, as the 2 previous appointments, you will have 1 minute for interview. Your interview, you will have 5 minutes for questions from the council, and then 1 minute closing. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm Eliza Lockerbie. I'm a junior. I'm studying economics, and I'm so honored to be nominated. Student media has always been deeply important. All the entities of student media on this campus provide us with an invaluable service. With stories that are relevant and moving to students on this campus, we are given information that we cannot find anywhere else and that may not otherwise be made transparent to us. On a very personal level, I can attest to how impactful student media is for the students that are involved in it. I myself was a member of the Daily Bruin until earlier last year as a solution reporter. And student media, for so many, is not only a place of education and career development, but it's also a community for people finding their friends and their passions. I want to work to continue providing space for growth and for critical advancement, and I really believe the communication support is the best information to do that.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll have 5 minutes of questions from the council. Yeah. Questions from the council? Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask how you believe your past experience with Daily Bruin in one way can help you in this position and one way that you might you in this position.
Definitely. I think it will help me in that I have a lot of insight into how student media functions on a day-to-day basis, and I also have insight into how the entities function between each other, like Usac, for example, their relationship with Daily Bruin, radio, Bruin Walk, all of those things. I also have an understanding of how it feels to be in student media and kind of not know what the common word is doing, like to understand that it's a very powerful institution, but to me it was always sort of this like vague, nebulous idea, and I think that that will be really important for me going forward. How can I make it more complete? How can I make it even more transparent and accessible? Ways that could definitely hinder me, I was in the Daily Bruin, which is the hegemon of our student media on this campus. And I can see how it might seem that it would be hard to be impartial when it comes to especially funding. That's always been an issue. And that's something that I want to remain hyper conscious of, and it's something that is incredibly personally important to me. I want to be an advocate for student media, not the Daily Bruin. So I can see how that would be a kind of conflict, but I'm really going to work my hardest to respond.
Yeah.
You touched on in this question about how you're looking forward to making onboarding more transparent in terms of student media as well as accessible. But could you elaborate more on your long-term goals and how you would do that as a member of the communications board?
Yeah, so I know that right now the only company on the board that actually has to meet with the student media leaders on a regular basis is the operations committee, and I would like to see, I mean, that's great, and I would like to see that role as a liaison even more institutionalized and understood from not just leaders of student media, but also staffers and people, even recruits. I think it's important for people to know what that is. I also think that the financial committee and the executive committee could, do more to make maybe like a newsletter or a even open office hours, something to make student media members, not just EICs and general managers, feel like they can go and say their opinion and say their experience. So that's
Okay, additional questions from the council? Okay, now you have 1 minute closing whenever you're ready.
I believe now is a tremendously important time for student journalism, especially here at UsacLive. With the passage of our fee referendum, our sources are poised to continue to deliver their top quality content. But it's also a moment of true momentum. I think that we can have creative advancement within this greater financial security. I want to serve on the communications board to advocate for more sustainable, accessible change in an efficient and equitable way among all the student media entities. I would like to see stronger collaboration between student media groups, as well as between student media and the board itself. I would like to see student media's audiences increase and their outreach grow. I believe that my experience uniquely qualifies me to support all of student media, while still providing necessary oversight. I'm thrilled to be nominated to this position of undergraduate representative. It would be such an honor to work for something that I'm passionate about.
Thank you. I gotta be weird okay, so now, before the council goes into their deliberation, you have the option of maybe you can take a seat in the room, or you can step out of the room. Whatever you-
I'll stay.
Okay, so yeah, just take a seat. Can I entertain a motion to approve Eliza Upperby to a 2-year term for ASU Civil Communications?
I meant to approve the line of and the ASUCLA Communications Board for 2 years.
Second? Second. Sandra? Now, discussion. So, comments from the council? Okay. Seeing no comments from the council, we're now going to a vote. All those in favor of Eliza Upperby for a 2-year term to the ASU Civil Communications Board, please raise your right hand. 8. All those opposed? None of those abstained? So 8-0 vote. She's been approved. Congrats. Okay. Now we will move. That concludes our comm board appointments, and we will move into our next appointment for the position of student advocate. The appointee motivated. This is a consent appointment. But before we move into that, can we have a description of the appointment and then there was ARC. So, did either members of the ARC want to go over what student advocate is?
Any students is supposed to study candidates if there is a forum? This is having sat on ARC last year when there was a forum, no one was allowed to vote, period. It was allowed to be voted.
I think that's a question that the IDP, the chair of the ARC, can answer. Because what I do is we conduct all appointments before nominations over to the IDP, with the chair of the ARC, and then the ARC internally kind of decides their process for bringing that before council. So maybe that's a question. Either the ARC members want to comment on that, or if you want to reach out to Sabrina and talk about that. But I wouldn't be a good person.
Yeah, when we formed like 3 interviewers, we gave sort of an unofficial recommendation based on who did interview them, and based on that information, I guess, council could make a decision. And some of them were unable to find the time to interview them, so that, I guess, was 50%.
Yeah. Because we have a few more consent action items kind of spread out throughout our month. But
So, the ARC process is to expedite this process. So you can still bring appointments up for a vote of council without having the ARC have that vote beforehand, but it just makes the process a little bit quicker and easier, and of course, very helpful when ARC is able to have a vote. But there are times where ARC can't meet, and they'll still bring it to the council to be able to consent items, for the most part, don't always necessarily need an in-person interview. Usually it can either be approved via application and reading the application for the consent items, or if they choose to have an interview, they can decide that an interview is necessary to get more information. So for consent, an in-person interview is not required, and also for the vote ones, you have to come to council to get the official vote. No problem.
Okay, so do either of our ARC members want to give an overview of student advocate position?
So the student advocate position is a 1-year term, and they assist any students that need assistance with aid grade disputes, drugs and misconduct, and they hold office hours and increasing awareness of position. Right. ARC was not able to interview this
understand. So that being said, is, just out of curiosity, is there an appointment for student advocate in the room? Is not, okay, well that was just an off if you wanted to speak at all, but when the agenda was sent out to council, his application, his resume was attached for you all to go over and see if it was fitting, and ARC could not, meet, but I really recommend the council to approve this appointment by consent. My appointment directors really had approved applicants for this and thought that I would be very, very passionate about student advocate wanting to make the position more expansive for council, and like really what it does is there's a student advocate office at UC Berkeley, and which is much more involved in campus life. And in my appointment director's interview, they said that he kind of wanted to model after that to really have more of a role in terms of connecting students to administrators, among other areas that he's passionate about. But again, you were able to review his credentials and whatnot, so I recommend to the council that we approve to the student advocate by consent. Is there any objection? Okay, we approved it by consent.
Just want to make one other comment related to appointments. Over the summer, because we do understand that some council members aren't here during summer, some students aren't here as well. So all appointments are reconfirmed. All summer appointments are reconfirmed during the first meetings during the fall quarter. So if there are any concerns, we can bring those positions back in for another interview, or you can be. That's fine.
And just kind of going off what Patty said, so the first council meeting back in the school year, I'm going to have a list of every appointment that we did over the summer, and then the council can, we can form more if we thought that they were not doing an adequate job or whatever, since we appointed them, and then the council reviews them. That's just something to keep on your radar. But seeing that, we approved Nick by consent to student advocate. Thank you. Move on to our next appointment, which is the LGBTQ Affairs Committee member. And we are, my appointment director is recommended Shamit Maglanwal, and this is a consent item. So if our ARC members want to give an overview of the position, and if they conducted an ARC, they could give their remarks.
I'll just read what I need. So the Usac committee reports to CODI and acts as a resource for the campus community regarding LGBTQ topics and climate concerns. Among its specific responsibility, the committee is charged with referring to issues and incidents of concern raised by the campus, advising and making recommendations on the implementation of various campus diversity plans and programs, and works in conjunction with the appropriate academic, medical, or staff compliance committees as a resource for development and review of policies and practices that support the LGBT.
Okay. And did ARC conduct any type of review for this? Okay. So that being said, and I am not sure if our candidate is with us today. Okay, then just to at least I can give you an overview of my appointment directors. They thought that she was very, very qualified and passionate about LGBTQ affairs on our campus, and really, increasing the visibility of that position, and really being a very passionate advocate about issues that relates to students who, identify as LGBTQ plus on our campus, and we highly recommend it to the council to approve by consent. So if there are no objections to the approval, then I will ask the council to approve by consent. Seeing none, this is consent approval is confirmed. Great. Moving on. Our next appointment will be CSC mini fund member. And for the CSC mini fund, these are all action items, and they will be appearing in some form before council, and council will be conducting the vote. So, do our ARC members want to give an overview of CSC mini fund before we jump in?
Okay, so this committee is dedicated to creating funds for service programs, activities, and services that contribute to the elimination of poverty and social problems in the community, and provide services such as health and education to disadvantaged groups. So there's one chairperson, some board members, and two of them must be related to CPO to the CSC, and I believe it is your turn. So we'll start with Judy, right? Oh, we started.
Starting with, yeah.
Okay, we did not interview.
Okay. There was no interview, but okay. Oh, great. So, yeah, so this is an opportunity for the council, since no ARC is conducted, if you all have more questions for the candidate, please feel free. But now, as for the other appointments, you'll have a 1 minute opening, 5 minutes of questions from the council, and 1 minute. So, whenever you're ready, you start your opening.
Okay, sounds good. My name is Amish. I'm a fourth year MCDD here. I'd like to start by pointing out the fact that if UsacLive had unlimited funds, the CSC mini committee would not be necessary. Unlimited funds, we could fund every well-meaning, hopeful, big-thinking organization with all the money they need to achieve all of their goals. However, I think we're all aware that this is not the case. Resources are limited by UcLA, but we must distribute them to the organizations that will have the biggest, largest impact, but are also efficient with their funding. Now, for the committee to make decisions concerning which of these organizations are most deserving, they require individuals with experience running these kind of long-term organizations. They need individuals who can analyze and critique these proposals with the lens of their own leadership experiences. As a former programming director for Hunger Project, as well as the current PLD for CSC and the internal vice president of the shelter, I believe I have the experiences necessary to analyze and critique proposals that the committee.
Thank you. Now we will have 5 minutes of questions from the council, starting now.
Can you please expand on your community service experience that you said?
Yeah, so I joined an organization called Hunger Project my freshman year. I interned for them my second year, and then last year I was a programming director for them. As a programming director, I would plan out events and then also utilize the funding that we had in order to determine what the most efficient way of using the funding would be in order to achieve our goals. I also helped write our CHC app and helped a little bit with our CSC minis last year. This year, I am serving as a project liaison director for the Community Service Commission, where I help out other organizations in writing their own CSC apps, and also help them out in any kinds of issues they have with their organization. So suggestions regarding recruitment, retention, or anything that a volunteer organization really faces. And I'm also the internal vice president of the British Affairs.
Okay.
Having applied to the CSC mini fund itself, how would you look to improve the efficiency of the mini fund and the visibility of the fund itself to more organizations?
To improve the visibility, that's a little hard because organizations really, there's not too many lines of communication to tell an organization that, hey, these are all the bodies available to you at UcLA. As a member of CSC, one easy way is to get our PLDs to tell all of their organizations that, hey, this is another funding body you can apply to. If you need more funding, apply to it, give guidelines, and come with it. I'm not sure if other committees like SWC or CPO have similar kind of roles as PLDs do under CSC, but if they do, engaging them in order to tell their organization funded them that, hey, these are funding bodies that you can apply to, please apply to them. I think that would be a good way to increase. And I believe there's another question. Okay, to increase efficiency, I know one aspect of the CSE committee that I may not have seen, but I wasn't exposed to last year. I don't think there's any kind of office hour to really teach organizations about the best ways to apply. I know that the CSE annual application starts to do that this summer, and I think it would be a good way to kind of engage possible applicants to the fund, the kind of best practices for applying and how to optimize their applications.
Additional questions from the council?
Just as an information question, what are the requirements or tools to apply to the CSE?
Oh, basically you have to be a volunteer organization assisting service recipients. You can only apply for transportation to get to those areas. You can also get tickets, so those are only for service recipients. Same thing with food, you can only use it for service recipients. I'm not sure. No, I'm not really that sure.
Okay. Additional questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, we will now have a 1 minute closing, starting when you're ready.
So as a former programming director, I'm acutely aware of the limitations that an organization runs into regarding funding. I remember every week I would worry about how to best use our money in order to optimize how many service recipients we could reach each dollar per week. On the committee, I will critically evaluate the proposal and determine if their leadership will use the funding effectively and efficiently. I understand that this means that some organizations may not get all the allocation and all the funding they need in order to make all the goals possible. But what we must remember is that the goal of every organization here at UCLA is to impact the community in meaningful, thoughtful, positive ways, and really to make sure that we're helping the community as much as we can, and really make sure that they want the help that we're providing. And it's the job of the committee to ensure that the funding that we provide is allocated as responsibly and most efficiently as possible. I'll help the committee make these decisions by using my own leadership experience in order to offer insights into the application process and to help out in the decision process. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Now you can stay in the room or you can... Okay, great. So now we'll move into discussion. Can I entertain a motion to approve Mesh Summer to the CSC Community Fund as a member?
And if they're approving Mesh Summer to the CSE.
Second? Second by Zach. Now discussion. Comments from the council?
Yeah, having worked with the nation CSC and having him be one of the two representatives affiliated with the Community Service Commission, he definitely attests to his experience in a wide array of service issues and dedication to the service community here, not just the organizations at UCLA, but those he's working with in the community. Not only was he a part of an established project like Hunger Project, but also helped with the new institution of Brew and Shelter, so actually creating one, which creates and gives one a lot more perspective than usual, so I think he'll be a great asset.
Okay, thank you, Zach. Comments? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of approving appointing Mesh Summer Akum to the CSC Mini Fund as a member, all those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? And all those abstaining? You've been approved. Congrats. Okay, that is our first member of CSC Mini Fund. Our second appointee to the CSC Mini Fund is Judy Watt, and she's been expecting it. Okay, so in the meantime, can we have an ARC? We have an ARC recommendation.
Right, so again, unfortunately, this is an interview, so we cannot officially recommend, but as from our interview, he demonstrated very wide range of experiences in service in our campus, providing education with perspective of funding. And then she also has finance and experience in CSC and CPO and their respective needs as well. And we would also recommend taking into consideration these for our
Okay, easy. Hang on up. Then we will begin the interview.
Yes.
Judy, you now is going to be your interview for your appointment to the CSC mini fund as a member. So you will have a 1 minute opening, 5 minutes of questions from the council, and then you will have a 1 minute closing. So whenever you're ready for your 1 minute opening, just go ahead and start talking.
Hi everyone, my name is Judy. I'm a third year statistics student. I'm applying to become a member of the CS Mini Fund and to combine my funding experience as well as the experience I gained from working with different community service organizations. For my freshman year, I joined the finance committee, which I'm introduced to this, and I help translate the message to different organizations that I work with, helping them utilize resources available to them on campus. This year, I'm hoping to continue to be a member of Community Service Mini Fund in order to help more organizations, such as those I have been worked with and are currently working with.
Okay, thank you. That is your opening. And now there will be 5 minutes of questions from council members. So starting now, if any members of council have questions for Judy. Okay, seeing none. No questions? Oh.
So Judy was hi Judy's Patty. Judy has been a member of community service for, is it 1 year or 2?
I have been there on board for 2 years.
Okay, great. So I want to give a little more background. And could you give a little bit of description as to your experience on Community Service League Fund committee and what you look forward to doing this year?
Sorry, Patty, can you repeat the question?
Sure.
It's breaking off.
Can you give a little bit of information about your experience on the fund committee and what you hope to do this year?
For the past 2 years, I have a lot of positive experience on board with other committee member where I see different organizations utilizing our resource. Each year we have more organizations, new organizations applying to our funding, and by seeing them using our resource when we close our account, we're hoping to give out as much as resource as possible, as much as funding as possible. So by seeing them using the resource that are benefiting the students as well as the community, the LA community, that was a positive experience to me. This year, for the committee, we hope to speak to the different advisors that are advising other community service organizations, letting them know, sorry, is that echoing?
We can hear you.
Yeah, so just letting advisors know to tell the different organizations that are newly registered, to let them know about our funding, so everybody will be able to utilize them.
Okay, additional questions? Okay, that would conclude our questions. Judy, now you will have a 1 minute closing whenever you're ready.
So thank you for everyone. Thank you everyone for being here to interview me today, and I hope, based on my experience as well as working with the community for 2 years, able to continue working here and able to give our funding to our current organization as well as newly your organization. That's all.
Okay, thank you. And now, as the council moves into its discussion, you can remain on the live stream observing from there, or you can log off and Patty will let you know after the council's recommendation.
Got it. Thank you.
But do you want to remain on watching, or do you want to turn it off and let you know after?
You can let me know after.
Okay, great, thank you. Now can I entertain a motion to approve Judy to provide for CSC mini fund?
I move to approve Judy Light for the CSC fund committee member position.
Seconded. Okay. Discussion from the council. Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of appointing Judy Lai to CSC mini fund member, please raise your hand. 8. All those opposed? And all those abstaining? 8-0 vote. Judy's been approved. Great. Now, Patty, were you gonna?
Sure, so, oh, yes.
You wanna let Judy know the decision?
Oh, yeah, so I was trying to get Emily.
Yeah, thank you very much. And now we will move on to, okay, our last appointment for CSC mini fund, the chair position, Emily Oldheim. So if you want to have through the ARC review, then.
But I guess I'll say for the bulk of it. But she's a very strong candidate. She was the chairperson last year for CSC mini. She made, around the end of the year, she streamlined a lot of efforts to make improvements for applications and hopes to continue that work and seem very knowledgeable of the struggles that the different organizations and groups go through to get the funding they need. So I think that perspective and also having previous experience can definitely make her a strong candidate for this position next year. In addition, she has lots of experience in CPO as the previous chair and hopes to learn quickly and efficiently next year.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Emily. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hi. So now we will have your interview before the council. We will have a 1-minute opening, 5 minutes of questions from the council, and then a 1-minute closing. So whenever you're ready to start your 1-minute opening, go ahead.
Okay, great. So I'm a third-year poli-sci student, and my passion has been community service ever since I started here at UCLA. I started 0 week of freshman year joining Project WILD, which stands for Working for Immigrant Literacy Development. And from there, I was so inspired to keep going in my involvement in that club as finance director during this past year and as co-executive director this upcoming year. And also, I'm on CSC staff as finance director, and I'm going into the second year there as well. And so that also inspired me to join the CSC committee last year. And I've had so many wonderful experiences meeting with all of the leaders of different community service groups through CS Mini that I really wanted to apply again and do this wonderful position again this year because I would really like to continue to help all of the amazing groups to apply.
Okay, thank you. Now we will have 5 minutes of questions from the council. So any questions? We're doing questions right now from the council, so I have a question. Yeah.
So having staff on the committee previously, how would you ensure to, I guess, improve the vision of the committee itself, so that the committee itself doesn't remain stagnant?
Could you repeat the last part again?
So having staff on the committee before, how would you ensure to improve the committee in a different, not a different vision, but a more innovative vision so that it doesn't remain stagnant?
Yeah, so over this past year, I've already made a lot of streamlining procedures. For example, our groups are community service clubs who seek to bring educational and health improvements to underrepresented communities. And I noticed that our application was not really in tune with that in some ways. For example, some of our funding worksheets, such as the transportation spreadsheet I noticed at the beginning, wasn't really up to date with going to sites, so community service sites, for example. It was more in tune with retreat, which our groups don't apply for. So that was a major improvement I already made in the application. But my next goal for the application to improve the committee itself and the funding procedure so we don't remain stagnant would be to include more contacts for each club. For example, with the UCLA USA application, I really like how they have contacts for each club, and so I feel that would really improve communication, which in turn would help clubs meet funding deadlines, access their funds in the most efficient way possible, and also for us to allocate more efficiently than we can.
Okay. Additional questions from the council? Okay. Seeing none, that will conclude questions from the council. Now you will have a 1-minute closing whenever you're ready.
Okay, so in closing, I would really like this mini chair again this year because I had such an amazing experience last year meeting all of these wonderful clubs. We had approximately 60 clubs apply in fall, approximately 70 in winter, and approximately 50 in spring. And so this committee has such a huge impact on the community and UCLA community service overall. And so I would just love to do this again, especially because last year I did not have any committee experience prior when I became chair. And I was willing to learn really quickly, and I'm so glad that I took that on last year, and I hope to have a chance to do it again this year because I just have seen the amazing work that all these clubs do, and I would love to help them again. So thank you for your time.
Okay, so now that we've concluded interview, the council will deliberate. You can either remain watching from the council, or you can log off and chat, and then Patty will let you know after the council decision.
Okay, I'll stay on.
Okay, sure. So now I'd like to entertain a motion to approve Emily Cohen for CSC mini chair. I'd like to entertain that motion in council member.
I move to approve Emily Cohen as the CSC chairperson for 2016.
Okay, second. Second by Ariel. Conversation from the council. Any thoughts?
I just want to make one comment. I advise the CSA fund. Pleasure to you, and Emily did an amazing job this year, and I was really proud of her work, and I was extremely busy this year, and she really took the lead with really minimal advising from me, so I just want to say thank you for all of her hard work again, and I would love to work with her.
Thank you. Additional comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor of appointing Emily Cohen to chairperson of the CSC mini fund, 2016-2017 school year, those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? All those abstaining? 8-0 vote. You have approved. Congrats.
Thank you.
Okay. And now on to our next appointment. This is for the position of Campus Food Security Committee member. Just as a refresher, at our last council meeting, we approved the Campus Food Security chairperson. So this is now a committee member. So if ARC wants to give an overview of Campus Food Security Committee before we move into the appointment.
So the Campus Food Security appointment serves to be the student body of UCLA around issues of security. And this is the appointment that where we can start with overseeing and developing creation of an on-campus student collective and food security informational centers. And this is it's 1 year.
Also, if selected, the committees will oversee the volunteers at the incoming food co-op and also make sure it's.
And this is a second.
Okay, so now I'd like to invite up, all right, okay. We'll call our appointment, Sai Sumana Kalubai, is our appointment for Candidates Food Security Committee member. Getting that ready, does ARC have a recommendation?
So yes, we were only able to interview with one person, but they did note that this candidate was very knowledgeable and passionate through their past experiences and brings their own personal perspective through their past experiences. Has a very good direction and organized plan for next year and recognizes the areas that lack resources on campus, but would also recommend more interaction with organizations as well as looking to involve more students.
Okay, thank you, ARC. Hi, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Make sure you're off mute. Sorry.
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
It froze for a second.
Okay, fine. Okay. So we're gonna get started. I'm going to towards me.
Hi, can you hear us?
Hi, can you guys hear and see me okay?
Yeah, great. Thank you. So now we're going to have an interview before the council. You'll have a 1 minute opening, 5 minutes of questions from the council, and then 1 minute closing. So just get my phone ready. Whenever you're ready for your 1 minute opening, just go ahead and start talking.
Okay, sounds good. Hi everyone, my name is Samana Kalubai. I'm a rising sophomore who is a chemical engineering major doubled with economics. So I want to open off by talking about the importance of food security. So I believe food security is of utmost importance. Food security is the access to healthy, nutritious, and cost-effective meals 3 times a day, 7 days a week. Currently, with 40% of UC students claiming they don't feel food secure, we can be sure that there is much work to be done in this area. My experience includes running a volunteer network for a local soup kitchen, starting the breakfast club at my high school, and also running Christmas food baskets in our local community for 4 years. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Now there will be 5 minutes of questions from the council. So if any council members have questions for our appointment, go ahead. Any questions from the council? No.
Out of the different food security resources on campus, which ones have you had experience with, and what do you know about them?
So in terms of my knowledge about the on-campus and off-campus food security resources, I know of the following. 1, the CPO Food Closet, 2, 580 Cafe, UCL Meal Vouchers, CalFresh, and other resources in Santa Monica as well. All of these resources are great, and in fact, they serve a lot of students. However, one of the main problems associated with them that I'd like to fix is that they're not offered 7 days a week, and also many of them close very early in the day, whereas students often return very late back to their apartments and have dinner later in the evening. So that's one of the big issues I wanted to address with the on-campus food resources that we have. Another issue that some of the resources that we currently have are that they can't provide hot meals. A lot of them have to resort to only canned food items, and we all know that that is not the best nutritious food that we can provide for our students.
Okay, thank you. Additional questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, now we'll conclude our portion of questions from the council, and now you will have 1 minute closing whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I'd like the closing to be more about what I want to be focused on while in this position, if appointed. So the areas I'd like to work on are 1, first and foremost, to get the food co-op running and addressing issues with the space, location, cleaning, and also because we're going to be sharing it with the election board. I also want to help raise funds to make sure other food security resources can be available 7 days a week. And I want to bring healthier food options to the on-campus Hill store. And my final area of concern is to maybe explore the possibility of talking to school administration to reconsider the pricing associated with off-campus meal plans, because right now they're not affordable to students. And that would be a great option for many students to buy into if they don't have time to cook meals or cook healthy meals for themselves on a daily basis. Thank you for your time today.
Okay, that concludes your interview. Now, the council will move into its deliberations. You're more than welcome to stay on the working out and observe from there, or you can log off and then Patty will notify you after of the council's decision.
I will log off.
Okay, we'll let you know. Thank you.
Thank you once again.
Okay, can I entertain a motion to approve
Bye.
Sai Simana Haluvai to the Campus Food Security Committee as a member?
I move to approve Sai Simana Haluvai to the Campus Food Security Committee.
Can I get a second? Second by Ariel. Discussion with the council. Any comments?
I think she demonstrated a very thorough knowledge of food security and also how it affects members of our campus. Students that attend UCLA, I think she has some really good ideas on how to talk to administration in ways in which to make some of our resources and integrated food here on campus more accessible to those that come from this background. And so I think she.
Exactly. Additional comments from the council?
I personally appreciated her closing that she was bringing up the place, especially to I feel like that was very important.
Thank you. Okay, seeing none, now we move into a vote. All those in favor of appointing Sai Simana Haluvai to the Campus Food Security Committee, please raise your hand. All those opposed? Now those abstain. So 8-0-0 vote. She's been approved. Thank you, Council. That concludes our appointments for tonight's council meeting. In old business, we have 2 that were tabled that we'll be discussing after a few other agenda items. But now we'll move right into officer and member reports, starting with myself, Mr. President. So a few of the things that I've been working on the last 2 weeks as the president is supposed to sit down with the Chief Justice of the Judicial Board, Rachel Beda, once a year to kind of talk about the different ways in which the Judicial Board is handling their constitutional responsibilities and how USAC, is supporting their efforts and, really upholding the balance, the checks and balances within our institution. So that was great. In addition to that, as I stated previously, I'm sitting on the Chancellor's Campus Safety Task Force in light of the June 1st shooting, and that has been a committee, a task force that has been meeting every week since the end of June, and we've had a lot of great conversations with that, talking on a few different areas. It's been split into 4 working groups, including preparedness, victim and community support, communication, and building security. I sit on 2 of those working groups, specifically preparedness and victim and community support. So we've really been reviewing a lot of different mechanisms on campus in light of that incident to see how we can be better prepared in the future. Not only those type of like a shooter on campus, but other sorts of security events that could impact our campus community. In addition, I wanted to let you know about that is that just this week, a website went live for the Campus Safety Task Force. I'll share with you all by email after the council meeting, which has a community feedback button for any members of the community who were affected by this or had observations, wanted to contribute recommendations, because we're going to be submitting a reported recommendation to the Chancellor by mid-September. So if you want to, if you have any recommendations yourself, or you want to share that, we post it on social media, email with all of you. In addition, at the end of August, August 30th, I'm not, it's at the very end of August, we're having a forum at the James West Alumni Center where all the members of the Campus Safety Task Force will be present, and members of the community can come and ask questions or give their commentary about recommendations that they want included in this report that we're preparing for Chancellor Block. So that's that. Additionally, I was able to have a phone call last week with staff from the career development in alumni affairs to talk about different ways in which we can really bridge the gap between, that the gaps that exist between students and our alumni base, which is so substantial. It's talking about career programs that they're rolling out, different ways in which USAC can support those efforts, mentorship programs, different ways to bring alumni speakers to campus, and different ways in which we can really engage students and connect them with more, internship opportunities and whatnot. In addition to that, this Friday, we're getting ready to have the Council of Presidents retreat here at UsacLive. We're going to be in the Lustig Center. So we're really excited about that. All the Council of Presidents is all the undergraduate and graduate presidents across the UC, and we're having our annual retreat where we sort of have our introductory meetings and talk about different system-wide issues that we want to address over the coming year and determine our structure and our leadership. So I'm really looking forward to that and letting you know how that goes in our next council meeting. In addition to that, I'm preparing for a meeting with Chancellor Block that I'm going to be having this Friday to discuss a few different issues and kind of, have an introductory meeting to be that liaison to the council and the student body. So I will be happy to let you know how our first meeting goes that we have. In addition to that, earlier this day I had a phone call with, a phone interview with Connect, which is the alumni magazine for our alumni association. Did an interview with them to kind of give my perspective as USAC president and kind of make a pitch to our alumni, because they send out this newsletter to well over 400,000 alumni around the world, UCLA, to kind of talk about what USAC is doing and what's going on campus from a student perspective, so we can really, start to make those inroads and make sure our alumni are keenly appraised of what is going on campus, and so they can be involved and really inviting them to want to contribute to the experience of students. That's it from my officer, but before thank you. Our interim vice president is not here, so just like that. And then is the external vice president.
Yes, so last week, Nathan, Wednesday night, attended the first USAC board meeting. We were able to pass a resolution supporting the creation of the UC-wide Gun Violence Resource Center. And in addition to that, we attended the July Regents meeting, and it was very satisfying to see that the issues that we advocate for as that council were being discussed in depth by the Regents. And we also saw members of CPO that are giving public comment on security breaches. That was nice. And also, we'll have more to talk about after the UC organized in August, which I know will probably be pretty looking forward.
Okay, thank you. And now our academic affairs commission.
Hi, last week I had the opportunity to meet with Eric Wells, who's the chairperson of the Academic Senate. We were discussing academic appointments and how we make it more transparent and accessible, not only for students in USAC and appointments as well, but in general to the public. And some of the things we discussed were end of the year last year, where Heather and a couple other council members went and talked about debt days and that happening this year. So looking forward to having conversations about that with Danny as well. So that was very productive. Tomorrow I'm actually having a meeting with Corey Hollis, who's in the College Academic Advising Unit, in order to see if we can possibly get college academic mentors as well as peer advisors in Kirkhoff Hall. That way students don't have to trek all the way to Berkeley for their questions to be answered. So I'm looking forward to that, and having be able to show them the space in Kirkhoff. The AAC office might possibly be able to be opened up to students to come in and get drop-in advising. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Thank you. And now our administrator representative.
Nothing too much to report. Good to see you all, and welcome to our table. I'm very excited to listen to you. This is the year, and hopefully for a few years after that, once you get a few in, wait for a long time. And so, but again, I'll be out of the office, for the most part, still here over the summer. And so if you need anything for your offices, it's an opportunity to, get things done or updated as well into clients. And starting soon, as of August 1st, we will have access to your funds. So the student groups that have referendum funding, the student groups that have SCOP, you do gain access to your accounts as of August 1st. So just keep that in mind if you start doing your planning for your chapter retreats or other objectives with the fall.
Okay, and do you want to give any remarks about anything?
Sure, a few things kind of. Annually, nationally, the second Tuesday of every month is National Night Out. It's a community police partnership where the community kind of comes out into the community and it's a celebration of community and police. It has been happening for many, many years. And it is observed throughout the different police divisions throughout LA. So if you want information about it, and then you have obviously it's every Tuesday. But that is something that happens on a regular basis, and I have to contact students there. The Student Affairs has been invited to participate in a one-day training with the sports academy. And so we may have spaces available if you are interested in this full-day training. Is happening this Friday from 9 to 4. It's self-defense and responding to emergency situations. So if you have interest in that, I can suggest this.
Okay, thank you. And that concludes our administrative representatives. Student Wellness Commissioner, was there nothing to say? Okay, then that will be done. And now we will move into fund allocations. The only one I believe that was struck was the defenders. Was there not? Okay, then we'll move on from that. So no funding allocations today. And now we move into old business.
Sorry, we were like starting and voting on the agenda, I missed it, but we have one more vote for it was Marshall for resume was sent out with along with the agenda, so it was support for names supposed to be written there. Wasn't working. And ARC version too. So like it was supposed to be out for tonight, but I didn't.
Was it submitted to the agenda?
It was, but like for some reason it's not on there. It's submit sent like a resume and everything out with when she can send the agenda, it's all in the same email. So that's what when I was going through the email that I just saw everything was there. But I guess I missed it.
Okay.
We can move to add it to the agenda at this point, but you'll need a 2/3 vote.
Okay, if the council would want to accept that change, then
yeah,
you can entertain that motion.
Just to reiterate, when she prepped for this meeting, her resume was sent out along with the agenda, supposed to be there. I apologize. And she's already, ARC has already used it also. And she's here for it tonight. She's ready to go.
What is the name?
And
who is the
Denise.
Okay, so again, this is the 2/3 vote, so just so the council is aware, this actually does constitute a violation of the bylaws, but seeing the circumstances, there was miscommunication about the agenda, so you can entertain a motion if the council wants to accept it.
How do I,
so you can,
move to,
yeah.
Move to amend the agenda, or move to.
Yeah, you can say move to add the items to the agenda, perhaps a list like sending new business.
Okay.
Yeah, the list from last week, and then just say, should get in the time. And we'll have a second and a vote.
Okay, I move to add one more appointment to new business, where campus protection committee for appointments in this one.
Is this a consent or action? Action. Okay. Action item, so is there a second from the council? Okay, by Zach. So before we move into a vote, is there any discussion surrounding this? Seeing none, all those in favor of adding to the agenda under new business, the appointment of the CRC appointee, Denise Martin. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 8. All those opposed? No those abstaining. So we've added this item to new business, and this will be the second one after establishment of ad hoc committee. So we will have that appointment, but now we will do old business, and we will begin with the table SIOC appointment. So if does ARC want to give an overview of the SIOC appointment, and then if they have a recommendation, then we'll invite up our appointee to do it.
The SIOC is the student initiative outreach committee, and it stands to increase the eligibility of educationally disadvantaged students to UC, particularly UCLA. And UCLA students who have initiated outreach projects to school, which has low academic performance, school-wide high penetration rates, may apply for funding from the SIOC to support their projects. And this is also a 1-year.
Okay, so now can I invite up our appointee, Susan Vista, for the room?
Should I use the record?
Yeah, so she, yeah, go ahead and go to the front of the room, and then you can give the ARC recommendation to council. So does the ARC have a recommendation?
We've also been reaching form here, so anyway, we found that this applicant was very passionate and knowledgeable about his work and emphasized group communication with Usac and recognized the responsibility of the projects in becoming fiscally responsible, has a wide range of experiences in understanding these, and we would recommend that you familiarize yourself with rules and/or the eligibility requirements to apply for the SIOC.
Okay, thank you. So, hey Susan, you will have a 1-minute opening. You'll have 5 minutes of questions from council, and then there will be. So, whenever you're ready, you're open. Go ahead.
Hi everybody, my name is Susan. I am here to consider for the presidential appointment student initiative outreach committee. Thank you all for your time. The reason why I applied for this is because I'm very passionate about outreaching to underrepresented communities. In the past, I have volunteered with projects such as the American Indian Improvement Project. What we do is mentor, provide tutoring for K-14 students. We go out to these communities and make sure that the students are eligible about the process to applying for higher education. I strongly believe that the work that the students in these projects do is very valuable and makes a big impact in the lives of many people of color and students that are not represented in higher education.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll have 5 minutes of questions from the council. Any questions?
How would you see your experience having been on the retention project help you in ensuring that this community continues to grow and represent the success? Sorry, can you repeat the last part? And just to ensure that this remains stagnant as a community, how would you be more innovative? Okay, so I do see some room for improvement. I would like to open up better avenues of communication between the SIOC and the Usac, so that way we can reach the rest of everybody, so that everybody knows what's going on. I was also a part of the core team for the social justice program, which just passed. So I know that these funds will be allocated for the projects of the SIOC, and I would like to ensure that all of this money is being used responsibly and efficiently. I would also make sure that all of the projects are following guidelines, like creating budget proposal each year, making sure that they are doing this year. Yeah, I'm very passionate about reaching these communities because I was a member of underrepresented community and having received sort of like their experiences to be much easier than what mine was trying to navigate the application process.
Thank you. Additional questions from the council? I'll let everyone see their name before I come back to you and just see if anyone else wants to ask a question. Okay. Additional.
And then going off of your response on the last question, having with this referendum, how would you ensure that the allocations are both fair and equitable between all the projects that house under? Yes, well, there is a system in place that projects have to abide by. So they have to submit a budget proposal every year. The budget period, we have to make sure that the communities that they're serving are students that are in need and that they have low acceptance rates into higher education. So there are several guidelines that we have to follow in order to receive funding. We also want to make sure that these funds aren't burned through in a short amount of time and having it last for several years, 10 years. So I would be responsible for looking at that happens.
Okay. Additional questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, that concludes your questions. Now we'll have a moment of closing whenever you're ready.
Thank you all so much for considering me and today here. I'm pretty passionate about working in the SIOC. I will continue to do community service, and I believe that all the work that my peers do in these projects is very valuable. Having worked so hard to have the referendum pass, I would like to make sure that we really do here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve Susan for the SIOC appointment. And entertain that from the council. A second. Ashley. Okay, so any discussion from the council regarding this appointment? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of appointing Susan Martinez to the SIOC, please raise your hand. All those in favor? All those opposed? And all those abstained? The 800 vote. The appointment has been approved. Congrats. Okay, and now our second old business appointment, the Usac publicity chair, Sarah Zaghi. This is a consent appointment, but at our previous council meeting, one of our council requested an in-person interview. So if you want to come up to the front of the room, before then, since it was last council, if ARC wanted to just a refresher on the response to the role of the USAC publicity chair, or I think there might be communications chair, might be different on there, but I want to just give an overview of that for the council again.
Publicity chair is responsible for promoting elections, including all of the advertising and campaign concerning the elections.
Yeah, so the recommendation from ARC, since we only had two people in the community making official recommendation, but Spirit and I both on the interview. She's involved in a variety of different media outlets, including different USAC offices. It could be a drawback, depending on like what those offices add in terms of perspective, but she's had plenty of experience in and out of school, great use of speech, to get her point across, her communication level is good. We have faith that she'll be able to communicate with different media outlets on campus, even though she was not involved with many of them prior. And we're excited to see what she does next year.
Okay, thank you. And now since
Well, the thing is, do you want me to like read all the responsibilities? Because I don't think she mentioned like all the responsibilities.
if you want to use your time to
No, it's okay. It's just like saying.
Yeah, like, you want me to, yeah.
It's not just elections. There's so many other like.
okay,
that I feel like
members,
it's important.
yeah, if one of the ARC members wants to clarify that.
I think they're kind of quiet, so maybe you can stay
I have a-
maybe not
Yeah.
or something.
I have a specific.
You want to?
I just feel like I feel important.
Okay, so publicity chair, the responsibilities include developing UsacLive branding campaigns throughout media, print, and online marketing. Also work with different media to find out new ways to get out ideas, voices, and opinions. Write press releases on projects, events, resolutions, on any other business pertinent to USAC. At the behest of any council member, work in conjunction with the USAC webmaster to update the website on a weekly basis. On different student group programs and activities sponsored by USAC on a monthly basis. Media publicity chair should also implement a system for quantitatively researching student opinions through polling and other methods for surveying. Also organizational branding for USAC, concerning logo and all other identity materials, and formulating publicity strategy prior to these implementations. There's a lot of requirements for position, but basically marketing, media relations in terms of bringing USAC, and building that communication with the faculty and staff.
Okay, thank you. Now, Sarah, since you're not going to be asked for a formal vote or discussions for the consent item, but the council requests an in-person interview. So, as our previous, you'll have a 1 minute opening, you'll have 5 minutes of questions from the council, and then you have a so whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Zami, and I will be your media and publicity chair. I am a sophomore and hopefully communications major. I'm going to find out in a few weeks. But I have a lot of experience in this field, and I'm really excited to start. So, as you know, mentioned, I've had over a year experience working at an entertainment PR firm, and I've also worked for multiple media outlets, online and in print. So I have a lot of contacts with journalists and different people in the media and news field. And then I'm also currently interning for Chris Jenner, so I'm really learning a lot about how you show yourself in publicity, PR, and just all that stuff. And then I also have experience working with multiple nonprofits on branding and creating campaigns for them, such as DoSomething.org, Mentor Up, and the College Board. And I also have a lot of experience within student government.
Yeah. So now there will be 5 minutes questions from any council members. So starting out, any members of council have questions or something. Okay, seeing none, you have a minute.
I just want to say thank you guys for your time. I'm really excited to use my past experiences and the new skills I'm going to learn this year to do my best with this position and promoting these active.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is a consent appointment, so unless there is any objections from the council, we'll go ahead and approve Sarah to Usac publicity chair by consent. Okay, seeing none, this appointment has been approved by consent. Congrats. Okay, and now we will move on to new business. I've asked the council if we could actually do the CRC appointment before, because I think this discussion on the committee might take a little longer. We've had someone who's waiting, so I think out of respect to the appointee, if we go ahead and do this appointment before, I'd appreciate that. So let's invite up our CRC, the Financial Services Commissioner's appointment to Campus Retention Committee. If ARC members want to get an overview of the CRC appointment, we appreciate that, and if there's an ARC recommendation, accommodate that.
Campus Retention Committee oversees funding and evaluation operations of the SRC, the Student Retention Center, which is a collective effort of students from historically underserved communities. They also house 5 projects that specialize in serving specific communities that have been historically damaged by low retention and graduation rates. And these projects offer peer counseling, mentorship services, additional services such as gender and sexuality counseling, wellness programs, and more. I believe this is a 2-year term.
We didn't have to read people interviewing this time, so we were able to give a 3-0 recommendation for this candidate. She's very well informed, very passionate about what she's doing, and has a good vision, but we would like her to expand on that next year. Very passionate about helping students in need, primarily people of color, which is, in matters of equity is very important. And yeah, that's how I want to know.
Okay, thank you. And now I'd like to invite up the appointment to CRC in the front of the room. So thank you so much for bearing with us after this long meeting. But as per previous appointments, you will have a 1-minute opening, followed by 5 minutes of questions from the council, and then you'll have a 1-minute closing. So whenever you're ready for your 1-minute opening, go ahead.
I'm extremely nervous. First, my name is Denise Marshall, I'm a 50-year student. I am a non-traditional transfer student. I am the current chairperson of Black Women Transfer Success. I got here in 2014. I was a member of Black Women Transfer Success, but I was motivated last year to become a chairperson. It was important to me that students of color, specifically non-traditional Black students, have be able to give the representation and the advocacy for resources on campus. There are a lot of other resources, resources on campus that target transfer students, but not as many target non-traditional students. So I feel that with what I do, maybe on a larger platform with CRC, I can help accommodate non-traditional students.
Thank you. Now we will have 5 minutes of questions from council members. So if any does the council have questions for our appointment? Okay. Amy?
Given that your focus is specifically on non-traditional students on campus, what plans do you have in place to ensure that there's more visibility to those students on campus, to ensure that more resources are provided to students?
Well, my personal experience coming to UCLA is that a lot of the fact that there are so many transfer resources, you have to fit into type of criteria, type of characteristics. So, a lot of the fact that I'm a transfer student, none of those criteria fit me. So I feel like I'm working with this person, maybe I can advocate for resources specifically for non-traditional transfer students. Like for instance, we saw me last year with 50% of the population that I serve, the Black transfer population, with having Black childcare during the evening. So with this year, SRC and CRC, we were able to collectively put together initiatives to make sure that that's not a problem. So hopefully CRC and the visibility of that particular initiative, we can really further promote other non-traditional transfer students to come forward. They do some amazing things, some amazing things.
Thank you. Additional questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, that concludes our questions. And now
You all,
You'll have a 1 minute closing or however long it is.
okay, I want to thank you all for considering for CRC. I'm excited to be a part of CRC. I've been working, positioning CRC for my entire, career at UsacLive. And hopefully, I'll be able to make a bigger impact on what CRC does for our students.
Thank you. Okay, now, as you can remain in the room while I'm okay? First, so now I'd like to entertain a motion to approve Ms. Marshall for CRC. Entertain that motion.
I move to approve Denise Marshall, in the position of campus retention committee chair.
Thank you. Is this a chair position? Sure. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, it's a chair position. Okay, very good. Can I have a second? Second by Ashley. So now we move into discussion. Any comments?
I appreciated the response to the question. I believe that the visibility, or rather lack of visibility of resources for the non-traditional trans students, specifically for Black students on this campus, is something that should be able to bring further resources to.
Additional comments? Okay, seeing none.
Point of information, was it for chair, it's not on the agenda because it got added, was it for chairperson or committee member?
That's something.
What is
Just a point of clarification, because Jazz is in front.
Colonel Chair.
Alright, yeah.
It's, the appointment is not for the chair role. The appointment is to be on the committee, and then the committee does its own chair.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't know about everything, so I apologize, that's why.
I would like to motion to campus retention committee.
Okay, second. Okay, so if there's no other discussion, all those in favor of appointing Ms. Marshall to campus retention committee member, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All those opposed and all those abstaining, 0-0 vote. The appointment is passed. And that concludes our last appointment for this evening. Thank you, council, and all our appointees who are able to remain for this long meeting. And now our next item of new business, the establishment of an ad hoc committee on referendum funds. And this is an action item that I put on the agenda, so I'm going to just give an overview of this action item. And then if the council wants to comment on this, then feel free to do so. So with the passage of 4 referenda, which I believe is, somewhat unprecedented in terms of like recent USAC and election history, increased our budget by about 50%, 4.3 to 6.3. And with all the influx of funding, these referenda were passed. There now is the work of the association, of our job at USAC, to make sure that these funds are distributed and that they are distributed fairly, transparently, and that this process is expedited to the best of our ability. So with that process, we need to go through establishing for different parts of referenda, such as the SJR, the bonus, the Bruin, and whatnot. And in fact, all referenda that USAC has and that have passed by the student body, it's our responsibility to ensure that that process is fulfilled by establishing guidelines for the different funds that were designated, because in these referenda, some things were kind of left open to interpretation. So it's our responsibility to, see that these funds are allocated. So my idea for a committee was to have representation from USAC on this committee, as well as the administration, and as well as some of the student leaders who were responsible for the passage of referenda to, really have their input on, how, because I think that they would know best about, what the actual language means. So for this committee, I've reached out to, or Roy Champwa has reached out to me to serve on it. I'm going to talk to Assistant Vice Chancellor for campus, I think DeLuca, since he was really involved in writing a lot of referendum to be president of this committee. Myself, I know that Zach expressed interest at our last council meeting about wanting to serve on this committee. And I want to, I'm going to keep it small in terms of representation so it doesn't get too big, but I welcome the thoughts from council about this, and if you guys could also participate in something. So, any thoughts?
This is just a voice of my interest.
Okay, thank you. Any other thoughts?
So will this be a committee that, the event like every year?
This is a one-time event. That's why it's an ad hoc committee, because it was established for this purpose of these assessing the referendum funds and making sure that we go about the business of writing up statements and memoranda to establish how these funds are going to different groups, whether they're going through, student affairs and the distribution, how the funds are transmitted and reported back to USAC on, since, we are these funds are democratically chosen by the student body to ensure that there's a going on that part. So a lot of different areas we can talk about. So I appreciate that there's interest from members of the council. So I just wanted to have an official vote of approval on this so that when I go about putting together this committee and reaching out to different parts of campus over the summer, that by the fall when we come back we can really establish this committee and have a clear direction. So, any other thoughts?
I want to actually voice my interest in given your own position and also how I think
I really value, we all value your input, so I think that we can find a way for you to be involved in courses. So, I'm just, trying to formulate exactly the makeup of this, and we want to have, representation from a lot of different parts of campus, and we also don't want it to be too big either. So, I think I'm going to sit down and think about establishing the committee itself, and, having myself serve as the chair of this, and maybe having a vice chair in terms of coordinating meeting times and location, and doing some of the other administrative work that needs to be done. But those are my thoughts on it.
My one thought in it is, as you said, I support you in the idea of having members in the committee that essentially had an integral role in passing these referendums, but I also believe that it's integral to have those members that have no bias at all, so that they can holistically look at it with some interest in the matter itself, and they can look at how funds are going through, and how it's allocated with other political biases.
Okay, fantastic. Any additional commentary on this? Let me just write that down for the record. That just council members that go about having this together. So, all those in favor of establishing an ad hoc committee on referenda funds, all those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All those opposed, and all those abstaining. Okay, 0 vote. We have officially established this ad hoc committee. Thank you, Council. And with that, I believe now we're going to move on to announcements. So starting with Mr. Vidota, if you have any announcements?
I think I already did that.
Okay. Or anything else? Okay. Patty? Any announcements?
St. Paul's Mission has free passing in front of their office in a little box. If anyone would love to make donations, you're also welcome to that as well.
Okay, I think just one announcement, make sure that if you're attending your sign, the user orientation, USAC is a number of council members signed up to represent USAC at that event, which happens I think every week. So if you are signed up, make sure that you're attending. That's a great way to really introduce a lot of new students to USAC and kind of what we're about during the orientation session. So make sure you're attending that.
Yeah. So my tuition did show up to school on July 15th. Then they said that there was going to be a press that we got there at 9:15. So I don't know if that's something that you can clarify with, because I know last year what we tabled, it was a Usac table, where whatever office showed up, it was
Yeah.
table. But, yeah, I think my top 5 people from our commission showed up at the table, and they were
That's, yeah, I'm unclear on that, because when I had my session, they had the table up, and that's exactly what I did, so.
Same with me 2 weeks ago, they had the table up as well, like kind of behind acronyms, like where the restrooms are. They already had the USAC thing placed on it, we had over 10, so I don't know why they got turned away.
So they went out there and specifically mentioned that, and the organization, and also for the last year, but.
Because that's a reserved space.
Yeah, I have not, maybe Patty.
Yeah, I'll, follow up with the coordinators of that safety community, very consistent, staff, and the rest of the orientation. It just got started this past month, and, what I love about SFT is really student-led, student-organized, student leaders that work for ASUCLA, so, I'll just make sure they're informed.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay, additional reference? Okay, now we'll pass around the signing of the attendance sheet for the council members, and can I entertain a motion to adjourn council at 9:11?
I move to adjourn council at 9:11 p.m.
Okay, second by Amy. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? And all those abstaining? 8-0 vote. We have adjourned council. Okay, now, just to let you know, we end with our good and well there, where we pass the gavel around the table and we decide